Hey pretty baby, am I in your way? Cause you walked out so fast yesterday. No, I don't think you're here to stay. No, I don't think you're here to stay. So tell me what you want.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, as promised, we are back with 3 looks using the new Dose of Colors DESI KATY FRIENDCATION palette. This palette is absolutely stunning and I'm so stoked that I got to do so many looks with it. If you are looking for a review this time around, this video is not going to be a review of this product because I already did a first impression semi-review of this plus a bunch of the new lip products that launched with this collection. I'll link that here on the screen if you want to go watch that. I do a look with the palette in that video as well, but it's more thorough and in-depth on how the palette performs rather than just concentrating on creating 3 looks with it. So in total, I've actually done 4 looks with this palette, so if you have been looking for ideas with your new FRIENDCATION palette, you definitely landed on the right channel. Spoiler alert though, I really love this palette. I think it's really, really beautiful. The only issue that I had with it is that the fallout burns my eyes just for a split second every time I get it like inside my eye. I don't know why that is, and it goes away really quickly. So it's not something that's stopping me from using the palette, but it's definitely a little bit odd. It's not annoying enough for me to not use the palette, but it is worth mentioning. Before we get started, a few things. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video because it really helps me out. I know that I say that every time, but like you guys have no idea. Like it is so helpful to me when you hit the like button. And if you are new here, please go ahead and subscribe because I would love to have you stick around for more videos. Honestly, I think you're going to have a good time. I wouldn't ask you to hang around if I thought I was a jerk. And you know, if you want to hit the notification bell, that's cool too. I would love it if you were notified when I uploaded a video. That'd be fantastic. I'm going to zip it so we can get into the video because 3 looks takes a long ass time and I know that you don't have all day. You have other videos to watch, you have things to do, you have kids to feed, dogs to walk, all sorts of stuff. So let's just zoom in and get started on the first look. For the first look, I want to concentrate on my absolute favorite shade in this palette. So for our pop of color, we're going to be using a moment, but first we have to build a look around. I'm going to start by dipping into the color Necessary on a BH number 5 brush, and I'm going to pack that through my crease and then blend it out. Next, on a pencil brush, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the color Girl Bye. I'm going to pack that on the outer corner and the inner corner of the eye. I'm also going to pick up a MAC 221S brush, dip back into a little bit of that shade and just bring that softly through my crease just to deepen it and also just to, you know, blend those 2 portions of the eye into the surrounding area because otherwise they just look like racing stripes. So I'm going to dip into a moment on a flat brush. This is a MAC 242S. I'm going to wet that with the tiniest bit of MAC Fix Plus. You don't really need to wet these, but I want to see how poppin' I can make this if I do. So I'm gonna start by placing that down in the center where I didn't put anything, but I'm going to blend it out over top of that mauve color that I put on the outside. It's crazy when you use it wet. Wow. I'm going to pick up a Sigma E36 brush, which is a teeny tiny blending brush. And I'm going to go into a little bit of the color Sheen. I'm going to run that through the crease where the blue meets that kind of crease transition type shade that we put down to blend the edge of it, to deepen the crease, and just to bring it all together. I got a little bit of fallout from those darker shades, but that's okay because we're going to clean up underneath our eyes next, put some concealer, and then we will work on the underneath portion of the eyes. For now though, can we just talk about the lid color? Can we talk about it? Can we chat about it? Can we have a discussion? Because I'm going to do a very thick wing. I'm going to start by putting a wing shape down with the Kat Von D dagger liner. And then I'm going to layer over the top of that with the NABLA Dazzle liner in the color Cruel Jewel. This is completely beautiful on its own, but I like it better when it's layered over black, and I think that will make it pop with this look more. So this is the plan. That's what we're doing. I'm gonna start right now. I went ahead and concealed under my eyes and put a bunch of powder down so we can start working on the lower lash line. So I want the lower lash line to pick up a little bit of this blue, bright, metallic kind of feeling a little bit. So I'm gonna line my waterline with the 24/7 pencil from Urban Decay in the color Abyss. I'm bringing that down between my lashes as well. With a smudge brush, I'm just gonna smudge that through the lashes so it blends a little, but I'm gonna pack some color over it so I don't need to be perfect. On that same brush, I'm gonna go back into a moment, and I'm just gonna pack that underneath my lower lashes. Sting in my eye again. That's the first time this video that it actually stung me. The first video, it got me like 3 times. I'm just gonna pick up a pencil brush and just blend the edge of that out and bring it up underneath that wing so it kind of meets the top. This is an unconventional way to be using a shimmer, but I hope it works out well. Not mad at it. Definitely not mad about it. I actually kind of like that, and I think I might lean into this a little bit more. Yeah, I like this kind of double wing effect that that's giving me, so I'm gonna go with a small detailing brush and actually just push that color underneath the wing to emphasize that shape because I like how that turned out. How interesting. I think what will make this like more intentional looking, because it was kind of an accident. So I'm gonna take a tiny little liner brush and some concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I'm going to intentionally put like a little gap in between there. So there's a space between the red wing and a little bit of a floating blue wing that we've got going on there. So that way it doesn't look like I accidentally didn't make them touch. It looks like it purposely isn't touching. And that should like emphasize the shape of the whole thing a little bit too. I went ahead and popped on the House of Lash, just iconic lash, simple, perfect for popping on with any sort of a winged look. You know, I started this out thinking, I'm gonna keep this simple. And here we are, a double winged Captain America themed eye. How am I like this? I don't know how this happens. So I think this look would look really, really pretty paired with like a warm toned, simple, neutral lip. But because we're here and we're doing a tutorial, why not take it a little step further? And I'm going to pair this with a really, really dark, deep burgundy lip. So I'm going to use Dose of Colors Sauvage, which was from the first KATY DESI launch, which I think they re-released this launch too, if I'm not mistaken. So I figured a bunch of you might have it. But first, I'm going to line my lips with the Kat Von D lip liner in Blood Milk.
Sound of the 80s. Suddenly you hear it everywhere. It's all beat and all talk. It tells you a story.
This is definitely a lot, but there you have it, the first look. For the second look, I want to focus it around the shade Dirty Money. But first, I'm going to start with some neutrals, some mattes. I'm going to put them in the crease. First, as a transition shade, I'm going to use Necessary. And on a BH number 5 brush, I'm just putting that through my crease, but kind of on the upper portion of the crease. So I don't want to bring it down onto the lid, really. I'm just packing this down, and then I'm going to blend it out pretty diffused and make it pretty light. I just want it to be like the edge of where this blends out into. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Girl Bye on a MAC 221S brush, which is kind of blending brush shape, but it is way smaller. Just blending it out less far than the other color. And to deepen the outer portion of the crease as well as the outer portion of the lid, I'm going to go into the color Cheens, which is this chocolatey brown shade here. On a Sigma E36 brush, which is, again, it's kind of blending brush shaped, but like even smaller this time. And if you find that when you do that, you kind of cover up too much of Girl Bye and you lost that shade a little bit, just dip your brush back into the more reddish color and just pop that on the outer portion and blend them together. That's what I'm doing right now. And just deepening up that outer corner with that same color Cheens. Quick note, the color Cheens has a bit more fallout than the other mattes in the palette. I do have a bit of fallout on my cheeks after using it. I didn't conceal underneath my eyes yet because I wasn't sure how much fallout I was going to get for some of these shades. So no biggie, but just make sure you know before you dive into doing a look. I'm going to go into the shade Dirty Money. This is a MAC 242S flat brush. And I'm actually going to pick up a little bit more of the shade Necessary and start blending that out along the edge again too. Sometimes certain looks, you have to go back in and like build up certain parts over and over again to make them stand out the way you want to. Even if it's something really, really pretty, it could be like overly subtle depending on your eye shape and stuff. For me, if I don't bring things out really far, you just don't see shit. I went ahead and powdered and concealed underneath my eyes because I'm done with all the dark shades on the top and I want to move on to the bottom lash line. But I think before I do that, I want to add a little bit more dimension and shimmer to the center of the lid. So I'm going to pick up Just a Kiss on a pencil brush. And I'm going to pop that right in the middle. That makes such a nice, subtle impact over the green. I kind of wanted Girl Bye to look a little bit more pinkish than it does, but it does kind of become more of a neutral tone when you put it on the lid. But that's also in part because it was mixed with other neutrals. So on the bottom lash line, I'm gonna go back into Girl Bye just on its own because it is that kind of mauve-y tone. And on a pencil brush, I'm just gonna use that to smoke out the whole lower lash line. And just on the very outer corner, literally from the end of my lashes, just to connect it into the top, I'm gonna go back into the shade Cheens on a flat kind of push liner brush, and I'm going to just stamp that on my outer corner and just bring that like that. Then blend those two together. That way, I'm not taking away from the mauveness of Girl Bye, but I'm balancing that lower lash line with the darkness that we put in the outer corner. Now I'm just gonna pick up a clean blending brush and blend the edge of that. I'm gonna go back into the shade Just a Kiss on that same pencil brush. And this time, just for experiment's sake, I'm actually gonna wet this with some MAC Fix Plus. Ooh, reaching to get it. This is one of the shades that burns me a little bit, so I'm trying to be careful, but it's still burning a little. Wow, using that wet, it's like, to amp up the warm tones just a little bit, I'm going to line my waterline with a burgundy. So this is the Alkaline 24/7 pencil from Urban Decay. And before I go ahead and pop on some lashes, I want to add just a little spot for my lash band to sit, my lash couch as I called it in the last 3 looks video. I was going to use my Kat Von D dagger liner to do a really, really, really thin line of black just along my upper lashes. So that way it looks like complete and doesn't look like there's just like a spot where the lashes like end just for no reason. So I went ahead and popped on a pair of lashes from KOKO lashes. I cannot remember if the name of these are Stella or Venus. I'm pretty sure it's Venus, but I'm going to leave a link in the description. I'm gonna link everything in the description, but I'm just gonna make sure that for those lashes, I correct the name and put that in the description. I also popped on some faux freckles because I felt like that kind of adds to the fallness of this look. I didn't record myself doing it because it's the same as I've done it in the last bunch of tutorials. I'm going to use the color My Main that also came out with this collection, but I want to line it with a bit of a darker nude. So I'm going to line the lips with Body Language from NABLA and then fill it in with My Main. And this is the second look. For the third and final look, I'm going to do something that's like pretty like nighttime, you know, like a real nighttime look. And I'm basing it around the shade Game Over. So to start, I've already primed my eyes from like the crease up and put a little bit below the crease too. So from the lash line to like around the crease, maybe a little higher than the crease, I'm going to go into the shade Blackground in the MAC Paint Pot on a flat brush. I'm just going to put that down as a base. This is going to be covered up, but I do want to blend the edge a little bit just because I don't want it to be hard to cover up that harsh line once we put regular shadow down. So I'm just going to buff that in with a BH number 5 brush. And this is going to be kind of like a smoky eye type of a look, but I kind of want to do it more in a like lifted shape, not quite a cat eye, but I do want to extend this past the end of like my crease line here. So I'm just going to put a little bit more of Blackground on a smaller brush and just kind of drag that out in a little bit of a point and bring that back down to meet the outside of my eye. And again, just kind of smudging out the edge so it's not so harsh. Now going into Game Over on a flat MAC 242S, 242. Why couldn't I get that number out? Hacking it over the area where we put down that black background. I'm gonna go into the shade Churro on a very small pencil brush. Well, this isn't a very small pencil brush, but it's a pretty small one. And I'm just picking up a little bit of that color on the tip, and I want to go along the edge of where I put down that black to blend it into the surrounding area. It's going to be a little bit too harsh at first, but then we're gonna blend it out. I just want to make sure that it blends into another color, and also that I have control over where I'm putting that color. Now that our general shape is down, I want to give it a little bit of a pop of juicy goodness in the center, but I don't want it to take over the darkness of the look. So I'm going to go into Just a Kiss again, and I'm just going to push that onto the center of the bottom portion, just like the mobile portion of the lid, just a tiny bit, because it is pretty potent, and the fallout got me, ouch. And I'm gonna tap the rest of it in with my finger. I literally just want this to give it like a little hint of extra shine and wetness to add some dimension in the center, but I don't want it to lighten up the entire look, if that makes sense. So I want to keep this look dark and sultry most of the way through. So I'm going to line my waterline and my tight line with the ABH Dark Side Gel Liner Pencil. Going back into the shade Churro again on a pencil brush. Gotta clean it off, I'm running out of brushes. I'm going to use that to blend out the black on that lower lash line and connect it into the black on the top. And to just finish this off and give that blue shade one more moment, which is an appropriate name because it's called A Moment, I'm going to dip into it on a pencil brush again. Just like that, just a little bit. If you find, like I'm finding right now, that a little too much of the shadows, well, first of all, I have a fallout on my nose, but ignore that. If you find that a little too much of the shadow has gotten onto like the bridge of your nose, you could go into the color Basic if that's close to your skin tone. If not, choose one that's close to your skin tone. Just take a dome brush and just blend that color or whatever color is closest to your skin tone and kind of bring it back to where it belongs. Put it back in its motherfucking place. Okay, I went ahead and popped on the House of Lashes ALLURA Light Lash. I think they finished this look nicely. What I also did, and I'm going to show you right now, is I went into another palette and I actually picked up some matte black shadow and I just used that on this flat shader brush. This one is from ALLURA Cosmetics. Love their brushes, love their palettes, love that brand. And I just used that to define the outside of the shape of the eye because I felt like with all of the shimmer, it wasn't defined enough. And to define a look with a shimmer is very difficult. So by going along the outer edge of the shape that we created with a matte black, and I just used that to define the outside of the shape of the eye because I felt like with all of the shimmer, it wasn't defined enough. And to define a look with a shimmer is very difficult. So by going along the outer edge of the shape that we created with a matte black and just blending that into the shade that we put down, I feel like it made it look a lot more finished. So a little tip for you there. So I'm going to pick up my usual favorite NABLA lip pencil in the color Touch Me. This is my go-to Your Lips But Better shade. And I'm going to go over the top of that with the gloss from this collection called The Most. I'm mostly going to put that in the center and just let it kind of stay matte toward the outer edges. And now that is the third look. And those are all three looks that I created today with the Dose of Colors Friendication in collaboration with DESI Perkins and KATY Lusterlux. I don't know KATY's real last name, I just realized that. Like I said earlier, I already did a review on this palette, so if you want to know more information about how I think it performs, you can go ahead and I will leave the link for the original video down in the description as well, so you can click there if you'd like to go watch that. Please do not forget to leave a like on this video because I will love you forever, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already because I have a lot more videos coming down the pipeline, and I would love pipeline. Anyway, I have a lot more videos where I don't know how to talk coming down the pipeline, and I would love to have you be around for them. If you feel like you want to keep in touch with me between videos, I am at Miss Quintface on every social platform you could possibly want to find me on, but the one that I use the absolute most is Instagram. I would love to see you over there, hanging out, coming over to my stories. We do lots of Q&As, all sorts of stuff over there, polls, PR unboxings, and I like to post all of my best shots of the makeup that I do here on YouTube over there, as well as some more avant-garde stuff, more creative looks, some lip art, things like that, and I would love it if you would find me over there. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know if you got this palette, if you got anything from the DESI KATY Friendcation collection. If so, do you like it? Just tell me what you think. I hope you found these looks helpful. I hope you enjoy the palette if you did buy it, and that is all I have to say for today. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your little face, and I will see you in the next one.